You were talking about money, right?
Separate yourself widely from the pack moving forward. Is that something that you would be willing to have a discussion about?
Because they didn't get it. They were
probably
like,
didn't
right.
get it. Welcome back to Key Factors Podcast. I'm your host, Mark Jones, and we are sponsored by ReviewMyMortgage.com, the largest index of mortgage programs nationally. Got some pretty good news to share with you guys about ReviewMyMortgage.com, but we will wait till the end on that. Before we go any further, I do want to introduce my guest today, and without further ado, we've got Danielle Voigt Kruciak.
Yeah.
How you
mouthful,
doing?
huh?
It is a mouthful.
I know.
But I got it out.
I'm good. Yes.
Don't ask me to spell it.
So I explained to Mark that, my last name is actually Kruciak. I'm married.
Gotcha.
But, Voigt, I'm just lazy and never changed it with Trek. So we've got to say it all.
I doubt that it was a lazy thing, more so just
a lot
like
of
a convenient there. Yeah. I'm sure being in real estate, as long as you have, there's a lot of pieces of marketing out there among many other things. So before we take this further, if you can, just for a moment, let the folks know who you are, where you came from, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay. So I knew Mark from a previous life.
Yeah.
And early on in my college years, kind of didn't really know what exactly I was going to be doing. Had a lot of hardship kind of happen around 19, 20 years old. Moved to Oklahoma where my family had relocated and decided, hey, I need to get into something. I need to be doing something. And a lot of my family, extended family, my grandparents, brothers and sisters were all in real estate, aunts, uncles. And so my mom was like, you really love sales. You like marketing. I think this would be a good natural path for you. And I needed to just do something.
Sure.
So I started up in Oklahoma. I knew no one. And this was in like 2008.
Oh,
time.
Wow.
So like right before the crash. Yeah. And not knowing anyone or, and the market that I was in was very unique because majority of the people were a lot older, and I was very young.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to start. I had a mentor that kind of was like, hey, why don't you just go and ask who you can intern with? Do it for free. Go to these small little boutique brokerages there and see if you can just learn.
Sure.
And so I went thinking, okay, they're going to welcome me because I'm doing this for free. And I got turned away multiple times.
Wow.
Because they just weren't interested in new.
At all, especially at that
new.
time. Yeah.
Right. And they were set in their ways. And so I finally went to one company, and it was United Country.
Okay.
And it was a husband and wife team. They had just moved and it was in Ardmore, Oklahoma. So they had just moved there too. So they were kind of new as well. And they said, yeah, sure, you can work for us for free. We'll teach you and just shadow us. And so I learned from them.
They were like, hey, yeah, come on, free
come
labor?
Come on.
Wait, how old are you? Okay, we're good.
Okay,
Above
we're good.
18.
Yeah, you're legal. We're good. But they were super patient with me, and I learned so much from them. The husband, he did a lot of like ranch real estate. The wife, she's just so positive. They're still, killing it out there. But anyway, I started with them, and the crash hit.
Yeah. And it was almost delayed. It was like 2008. It happened, but it still hadn't happened. Then 2009 came around.
The residual.
Yes. I was in banking at the time, and I was like, what are you talking about? People are still depositing money. We're good.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, okay.
Which there, it was a whole unique thing because the price points are way different there. The clientele is way different there. So your average price back then for a home, and we're talking about 2008, I mean, you could get a home, like the nicest homes were $80,000.
Yeah, I believe
$100,000. So very different. And just the whole, everything was by hand, and you'd go pick up the keys from the offices and stuff, just way different. But anyway, my first clients, by the time I got my license there, it took me like 2 or 3 months to get licensed. It was a little young couple with a baby, and they bought this home. And it was such a unique situation because the home that they bought had actually like had burn damage from a fire.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Like, there was like a lot, a learning curve with it all.
On
but
your
they
first
were so
one.
happy, like, because they were getting a home. And so I don't know, it would just, it's one of those things, like it gives you like this buzz, of like being able to help.
And I feel like we're not in a crash, not even close, but I feel like we're in that market again to where I get to feel that again.
Yeah.
It's been the last 3-4 years to where anybody could get a home, anybody could get a deal on a home, or so they thought. The sellers thought they were getting a good deal. The buyers thought they were getting a good deal because of the rates and things of that nature. But right now, it's like a real scrappy time in the market to where you help somebody with their credit and they go and find the first home and are crying on the Zoom call to go over their options. Like, I never thought this would be happening.
Right.
And it's like, boom.
The gratitude.
Absolutely. It's sucking me right back in these days, just so you know.
I love that aspect of it. And it's one of those things that just keeps you motivated to go to the next deal.
Yeah.
But so anyway, that was my first kind of, experience. And I was super, super grateful. And I still have the picture of us on that house. I was so young but it was just such a really cool time. But shortly after that, things started to change. And so, there, it's way different title-wise than it is here. Your closings there take like average 45 days at the time.
Sure.
So they weren't like 30
laid back.
Yeah, well, because a lot of it is Indian territory.
Okay.
It goes back, to when the Indians owned
you've
it.
got to search.
Right.
Right. Real title issues.
Right. So it takes longer. So, you'd plan to do a deal, and I'm young, okay, I'm going to close this deal. And the next thing you know, they're falling apart left and right.
And it has nothing to do with the buyer or the seller. It's the deed.
Right. And things are changing constantly in the process. And so it was rough.
So I can imagine you learned quite a bit within that first couple of years quickly.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at today, and I've read many different pieces that Oklahoma is going to be the new semi-San Antonio type situation. Yeah. Why? Because the land is so cheap, the homes are still affordable, and there's nothing there yet in regards to infrastructure and big business and things of that nature.
Right.
But that's exciting to be a part of the ground roots of something like that.
Right.
Now, you've been in the business, what?
15, a lot of years. 15 years.
A lot
15 years.
That surpasses me.
Yeah.
I got in this business in 2012.
Okay.
All together as a lender, real estate, the whole 9 yards, but didn't start till 2012.
Yeah. So I've been in it for 15 years. It feels like, like no time at all.
Yes.
But, I have learned a lot. I ended up having to get a second job, and I ended up having my first daughter, which is a huge motivator for me and why
she looks like your twin, by the way.
Yeah. So I had my first daughter, and I was a single mom. And so I had to work an additional job. I kept my license there, but, just kind of needed extra income.
Right.
I moved back to Texas in 2014.
Okay.
And I needed a job. So I ended up working for a guy that had a bunch of like ranch real estate.
Okay. Farm and ranch.
Yeah, okay. And owned a bunch of different businesses in Delaware, and was liquidating a bunch of those, and was having me help, like, be his personal assistant.
Gotcha.
So I did that right when I moved back, and we ended up getting through that process, and he said, what do you want to do ultimately? Do you want to get back into real estate? Is that your goal? What's the plan here? I have like an accounting position, which I had zero interest in. But, if you want to get into real estate, I may have a connection for you. So I was like, I would love to do that, but I'm still a single mom.
I got baggage.
I need, right, for sure. And so I need, income. And he said, well, I have a guy that I think is my real estate agent, and I think would be a good fit for you. He does farm and ranch and has a team and needs help with transactions and marketing and that kind of thing. And so I ended up working for a team, Wilcox team. Yeah. And I was with them for a long time. Ended up moving over, did their marketing, did their transaction coordination and all of that. And by 2019, we were just kind of going in different directions.
Sure.
And so I started my own team.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Started my own team. And at that time, and by this point, I'm married and have another daughter. And I was mentoring some girls.
Okay.
So some young girls that one had aged out of foster care, and then the other one had parents that were incarcerated. And so they just needed fellowship.
Yeah.
So I ended up just mentoring them and wanted my real estate team to be, I felt like God was leading me to having it have more of a purpose.
I gotcha.
And so when I started the team, it was, okay, let's do this, but do it with purpose. So when we close a transaction, we're going to tithe and we're going to give back and we're going to volunteer and we're going to have it mean more.
That's awesome.
And so simultaneously, I started a ministry at the same time.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Which that's a whole nother.
Holy cow.
It takes a long time.
I'm sure.
But we're finally 501c3 certified.
Okay.
But we're able to help now. Youth,
Right.
kids that have aged out of foster care, their parents are incarcerated, little to no family support. So the driver for that portion was because I was a single mom.
Yeah.
And I had lived on both ends of the spectrum. So when I was in Oklahoma and the market crashed and all that, I had to get creative. But I was at that time, I was on food stamps. I was on TANF. I was on all the things.
Yeah.
And I had a social worker with my first daughter, and she was like, Danielle, this is a temporary solution to a long-term problem. You got to figure it out.
Gotcha. Basically motivating you to find another solution because you can't live on this.
Right. This isn't supposed to be something that you're codependent on. You need to figure it out. And so I always just had that as a motivator of I need to make this work, and I need to be able to provide for my daughter and for me. And so, I've always just had that in the back of my head. And when I was on the Wilcox team, I went from, having hardly anything to,
Holy cow, there's the whole world.
Yeah. To,
let's stop there for a minute and talk about your experience in going from Oklahoma, coming to San Antonio and the Hill Country and going, all right, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing something.
Yeah.
And then you meet up with the gentleman that refers you to the Wilcox team. Mm-hmm. What was that like? Was it culture shock? I mean, because you're going from, all right, I was in real estate, I was doing transactions, but I wasn't doing them at this rate and this volume.
And
it was that level, correct?
Yeah. So,
we're talking about somebody here, guys, that spends quite a bit in marketing and throws at least 2 major events that I've been a part of and may or may not have dressed up like a woman.
That's pretty funny. Yes. So to kind of give some perspective on that, my first closing, the one with the little couple, I think I made $500.
Sure. But back then, 2008, $500 in the grand scheme of thing, based on the work that you did, was holy cow, I could do this.
Yeah. Well, I feel because it took me a long time to get to that point.
Yeah, you're that one was no.
So I feel maybe I'm a little in the red here, but definitely still grateful and loved. You still had the high regardless because it was more about them getting the home that they wanted.
Sure.
But yes, going to from that to the Wilcox team and being able to make substantial checks.
Sure.
It is life-changing, and I am grateful for that opportunity of getting to learn. And, I feel like it, I don't know, it just...
Would you say that it at a certain point, our perception of what's going on in the world, in your current world, is this big? Then all of a sudden, a door opens, you peek through, and it's whoa, that's a totally different world
and
that
it's
I didn't
attainable.
think. Yeah, that's what I was going to say is I didn't think was possible, but not only now is it possible, but it's like right there.
Well, and you have to realize too, the mentality a lot in Oklahoma because of kind of the culture and stuff is this is the best you're going to do. So, I mean, I can't tell you how many times people told me like, you just need to be grateful for where you're at. Like, you're not going to succeed any further than this. Like, this is what it is. Like, and so it makes you start to kind of
believe
question. Believe it and question yourself. Like, man, I really thought that, all my dreams are squashed now.
Right.
But then, yes, you have a little taste of that of like, yes, these things are a possibility and can be my reality. And I've always been very, I have a really good work ethic. Like I want to work. I'm very self-motivated.
Absolutely.
And so I feel like in this business, you can totally do that. It's all about limiting yourself in your mind.
That's right.
And, and if you tell yourself you can do it, you can. But also I feel like the people that are around you have a big impact.
Absolutely. And that's why when you read books about success, when you ask somebody that you believe is successful, what they believe is the best way to get there. And number one is like surround yourself with people that you would like to emulate. Surround yourself. You are your surroundings. That's a true statement. Similar to you are what you eat. Absolutely. It's the same concept as that. And I think there needs to be more discussion around that because there are too many people, especially on social media, that are limiting the minds of others to become successful and overcome all those objections that they have in their life. And it ends up, I don't know, creating this false narrative of what true success is.
Right.
Like you said, you're doing great. You can't get much better than that. So be happy with it. Like, hold up.
To who?
Exactly.
If you're okay with this, then that's fine. But maybe I want more.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see because now, my first daughter, obviously, she's from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
So I still have to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's interesting to see like how that narrative is kind of changed for them. Like, oh, okay, you are doing it.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And so I'm like, I am.
Well, it's kind of a moment that you every once in a while get a chance to flex. And a lot of folks think that is frowned upon and this and that, but I think it's justifiable every once in a while. Now, if you're out there flexing around everywhere, hey, different story.
Yeah.
But in addition, hoping that it shows those other people that, hey, you too can be successful.
Right. So my whole thing now, especially with the ministry and like kids that have come from backgrounds where they're again, like they have been limited by their situations and they're like, I can never attain this, this isn't possible. I try to be that hope. I feel like God's put me in this position to be able to be like, hey, like it is totally possible. I came from being on the same systems that you guys are on.
Right.
And everything that I ask them to do, they have strategic plans and things they have to meet. And it's nothing that I haven't done my own self. So I think yes, you can go the one way and be kind of cocky with it, but you can also inspire and
absolutely
and give that hope. Like this is totally possible. It's up to you. Cause I'm very much like, help me help you.
Right.
You got to participate in your own rescue. And
I love that.
You have to, take the first steps. And, we all have our days where we're like,
of course,
we don't want to do it. But, but
that means you're human.
Right. Right. But if you can get your mind right and just put those action steps behind it and just one day after another, my dad always says, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
Right. So it's like, if you can just chip away at it, it is possible and you can do those things. And definitely networking helps and having relationships, which is what we try to do within the ministry is like connect them with people that they may not have had as a resource.
Sure.
Because that is one benefit that I have had is I do know a lot of people here back in San Antonio. So that did help me get to where I'm at. So we try to help others that may not have that benefit,
So right now, I mean, you're opening up the opportunity for us to have somewhat of a different discussion than we normally do, which is more of a self-help kind of conversation.
Right.
And I want it to resonate with the listeners, with the viewers. what if we took the next like 5 minutes or so to map out you were here. What first step did you take? And what was the next step? And what was the next step? Because then after that, it's almost as if you don't have a book that is written that you essentially go through to make sure that this is the right path.
Right.
Once you get past that, I don't know, big hurdle of, wow, it's possible.
Yeah.
Then you're just doing consistent things to see opportunities and capture those opportunities and work harder than the next guy.
Right.
But what were those initial steps that you took to kind of get out of that situation?
Out of the funk.
Yeah.
Well, at the time in Oklahoma, I had a social worker, and she was very tough love.
Okay. I'm all about that. I think
very
there's not
tough love.
enough tough love in the world
It's
anymore.
funny because she was like, she was just like a gruff old like lady smoker, like, which is fine, whatever. But it's like, I don't know. She's what I needed.
Yeah.
She is what I needed. And she was like, we're going to make you a binder.
Okay.
And you're going to make a binder, and you're going to put the days on here. You're going to have a calendar, and you're going to write out your goals. Are you going to go to school, or are you going to work? Which thing are you going to do? I'm like, okay. At the time, I was like, okay, I guess I'll try school.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess.
And I tried nursing. That didn't go well. So she came back. She said, okay, then you're going to work. Like,
Here it is.
that didn't work out. What are you going to do? Call them right now. So it was very much like, don't sit on this.
Right.
I'm sitting right here. We're going to do it. So I'm very much like that with my team. Is like, okay, you set a goal. Okay, let's do it. Let's make a plan.
Yeah.
Let's set a date. And then I'm going to hold you accountable for that. And so because she did that for me.
So you've mentioned two things thus far that I believe are huge. The first thing is setting your goal.
Right.
Well, actually, you've said three things. Setting your goal. And in my opinion, I don't think it's enough to just set the goal. Set the goal and write it down.
Right.
Write it down and put it in a place that you can continuously look at that, and it's looking right back at you like, still haven't done it.
Yeah.
Which leads to the next thing, which is taking action. You've got to put the wheels in motion.
Yep.
You've got to stop skipping rocks, standing on the sidelines, and jump in the water.
Right.
How do you learn how to swim? You jump your ass in there and you start paddling until you keep your head above water.
Right.
And then the third thing is getting somebody that can hold you accountable, that can help you hold yourself accountable.
Right.
I think it's too much for people to ask of themselves to hold themselves accountable when you're already in a situation to where you're doubting yourself.
Right.
So getting an accountability partner is huge. I don't see it as a crutch or anything. I see it as a tool and a coach type situation.
Yeah.
So those three thus far. Go ahead. Keep going.
So I think the next thing, which related to my situation at the time with my daughter's dad, which him and I get along fine now, but at the time, we didn't.
You're punk kids.
Right. So the biggest thing she said was stop focusing on the negative. Stop focusing on whatever, all the negative that's going on around you.
Yeah.
And try to reframe it. Look at the positive, and so I would say, for real estate and for anything like that, be around surround yourself with the people that you want, your hype crew.
Yeah.
Our team is really big on hyping each other up and encouraging one another. And I think it's really important to have that encouragement, have the accountability, and have the tough love, but also don't focus on what everybody else is doing and the negative. Try to surround yourself with what you want to be.
Right.
And
would you consider that somewhat of getting away from the victim mentality?
Right.
I think we got a lot of folks that believe that things are happening to them versus what have they done to create something for themselves.
Right.
And it's hurting a lot of folks. And then they get this, bubble that they live in. And now they can't see outside of the bubble.
Right.
So eventually they're going to blind themselves by it, or somebody's going to come around and give them better perspective on what's going on so that they can move forward, move past it.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. Keep going. Ooh, this is good stuff. Good morning.
Yeah. I think that, and then just having check-ins.
Okay.
Making intentional time, and even not knowing when that time is going to be for someone to hold you accountable.
Yeah.
Is someone going to call up and be like, hey, did you do X, Y, Z? Are you, surrounding yourself with these people? Are you doing all the things that you set for yourself?
Right.
Because ultimately it's your goals.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I tell my team is like, and when we set goals, it's not just real estate. It's,
life goals.
It's life goals.
Awesome.
It's, anywhere from, I want to work out more to, their spiritual life to, their work and how many deals they want to accomplish. And then I hold them accountable. We write it on the calendar. Like, for instance, today I have a girl on my team named Claire, and she's supposed to be spending time with her kids. So I'm going to learn, hey, how's that
time going?
How's the kid time going? So because we get so busy as, that we need to spend that intentional time with our kids. So anyway, I think it's important to have those little touch points and then not necessarily knowing when those are going to be.
Right. Somewhat surprise visits.
Right.
Because in essence, if it was plotted and planned out every single time, it's easy to fake the funk.
Right.
It's super simple to
fake or procrastinate.
Sure.
I'm going to wait till the night before and then cram it all in.
There you go.
I mean, so I feel like one of the things that the guy that I work for as his personal assistant, he was very direct, and you never knew when he was going to fly in. You never knew what. And so I am so appreciative of that time with him because he would give me research projects to do, and I would never know when he would show up.
Gotcha.
And he would be like, okay, I want to see everything. And he was very like, there was no BS. Like, this is what it is. So I feel like that taught me a lot of like self-motivation. And I think that that's so important in our industry.
It is.
You have to be willing to do
it's something that I talk about quite often. Both things, willingness to do the work, but also being direct and finding a way to not necessarily be direct and rude. It's just, I want to be direct. There's no BSing what I'm trying to convey to you because we're dealing with life situations.
Right.
Big purchases, big needle moving activities, life-changing things.
Right.
And I think the concept of sugarcoating around things ends up wasting time. Yeah. Truly. And time is something we never get back. It just isn't.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Continue. Sorry.
I wish I was a little better about
I think we all do.
Sugarcoating things. I'm like, I need to, work on being more direct. It's every time we have, because we'll do like evaluations and stuff every quarter. And I'm like, okay, team, like, what can I do better?
Yeah, no. And I asked the same thing.
You're too
nice. And half my team would say I'm too nice. The other half would say you're too direct. And I'm like, well, shoot.
Well, which one?
How do I stay in the middle?
Yeah.
And it's a tough thing for a leader like yourself, like myself, that we are leading a team and we don't know the perfect path for
balance.
that. We are constantly educating ourselves. We're constantly learning. We're constantly asking and seeking for direct feedback. Like, help me help you.
Right.
If you're not honest with me, how the hell do I know what I'm doing wrong?
Right.
But yeah, that makes sense. It makes good sense.
Yeah.
So I think that is a pretty good path.
Yeah, a little start.
Yeah, absolutely. At least a start. And I didn't want to take anybody down any roads of, okay, now sign up at the bottom of your screen, dial the number.
Because we don't have that.
Not yet. That's
we don't have that, but maybe we need to.
Maybe. But it does give some folks some hope that it's possible. Yeah. And it's possible. Make a plan, put the stuff in action, find somebody to help you become accountable and continue. One
thing I heard yesterday on I like to watch YouTube videos and stuff, which now I'll be watching, I think mortgage. But I think it's really important to do like to-do list. I love doing lists, even if I have to rewrite the list. But one of the things I heard yesterday was to do a to-don't list. Things that you don't want to be doing anymore. Okay. And I think that's
pretty cool.
I think it's pretty cool. It's a different angle. Like, okay, I don't want to, be wasting time on social media, or I won't, I don't want to, whatever. Try to reframe that. Things that you want to take out so that you are more productive. Or I like
that a lot. I mean, so a couple of folks on my team, essentially, and when you watch this back, you'll know who you are. And it's another reminder. The idea behind, like you said, social media. And I walk around the office all day long and I'm like, hey, remember, you're a creator, not a consumer. Why? Because they're just scrolling. What are you looking for? You can scroll to the bottom of the earth. You don't find anything else. Why don't you be the person that is using that intentionally to
create
business, create opportunity, create top of mind sense.
Right.
Because the idea behind it is it's super powerful, but it's also super powerful the other way. You suck you in, and all of a sudden 2 hours went by and you're like, damn, where did the time go? Right. Well, you were stuck in this. And yes, it's totally intended to, what is that called? Your I don't know, the things in your brain.
Subconscious.
It's like sparking the endorphins, not the endorphins. What the hell is that called? JC, help me out. What is that? What is it? Dopamine. There you go. You got all the dopamines firing on all cylinders. So you're like, this is easy to get sucked in.
Right.
I personally have been sucked in at times, and I got to remind myself, hey, get off of this and go do something.
I've been on both. Mm-hmm. I've been on both, and I think a big portion of our business comes from social media.
Same here.
But it's hard to not get sucked in and to do that thing. There's some apps that I use that kind of help me try to mitigate a little bit of that. Sure. I use an app called Planoly. Have you heard of that?
No. Tell me more.
It plans your post.
Okay.
So basically you can plan everything that you're doing so that, because what we tend to do is post and then you're like, okay, now I want to see what's going on. Well, this post it for you and you can kind of see how, like, I like things to look cohesive.
Sure.
So this plans it all out and, you can kind of move the tiles and things like that. And then you can just plan it and it'll just post it on its own so that it's stuff that's already being done passively without you having to.
I honestly have used like a calendar reminder for myself for many years. It just pops up. Don't forget to post. I'm like, okay, random post on all kinds of different things. But I have used social media to leverage for many years, and it has worked for a good chunk of those years.
Yeah.
But I have had to keep the concept of you are a creator, not a consumer.
Right.
Stop. Don't get sucked in. Jump in there, do the likes and whatnot. Get off of there.
Yeah.
And go do the things that you're intending to do to accomplish those goals.
Right.
Because I can tell the folks out there listening that if you're only posting on social media, but you're not boots on the ground, meaning doing what you say you're doing in real life, social media won't work.
Well, you can only fake it till you make it for so long.
That's so true.
People are going to only see the highlight reel and then they're going to see you in real life and be like, I haven't seen her doing anything,
Correct.
And so you have to have that narrative match what's really going on in real life. But yeah, I think that one of the things, do you have a social media manager?
JC manages our business page, but I personally have 5 Instagram accounts.
Yeah, I know.
We've got Review My Mortgage. We've got I've got Mark Jones, the mortgage lender. I've got all this stuff. But the one that I stay true to, and you can call me old or not, but Facebook. Exactly.
Well, because it's all your real organic connections.
Correct.
I feel like I get a lot more engagement on my Facebook because they're people that I actually really know, where Instagram is just, you never know who you're going to get.
It's some facade.
But see, the hard thing with not being able to scroll and be a consumer is that now you're having to have more engagement with those people to be able to pop up on their
You're exactly right.
feed. So I'm like, is it a good idea to get a social media manager to separate those things?
I'll tell you from when I first got into the business back in 2012, 2013, I hired a company and it was super cheap. I mean, I think I was paying $200 a month for somebody to go in there and create posts and post them and all that good stuff. And I saw my engagement drop dramatically and quickly.
Because they want to know what you're actually doing.
Absolutely. And that's, I don't do classes for it anymore. Maybe I should. But that is one thing that folks tend to forget about is they're doing business with people that they know, like, and trust. Right. The reason why they're following you is because it's you that's putting you out there.
Right.
If you stop doing that, people can obviously see that it's not you anymore.
Right.
It looks like a bunch of canned stuff. I think going live every once in a while is good. So people know that you are you.
Right.
Being yourself the most you possibly can is the best way to do it, because you don't want to do business with people that you don't relate with, that don't have the same commonalities. If I can't drop an F-bomb every once in a while, it's not something that I want.
It's not him.
Yeah, exactly.
He's an imposter.
That's exactly right. I mean, I used to not curse at all on social media. I'm talking like 8 years out of the 11 years of my career.
Yeah.
And then finally somebody said, dude, that's not you. You do tend to slip up every once in a while.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not directing it towards someone.
Anyone.
Yeah.
Right.
So I would slip up every once in a while. I've got a shirt that says classy as F-U-C-K.
Yeah.
And people love it. Why? Because it's me. I'm not intending for it to be a derogatory thing. It's just, it's humor.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's
authenticity.
That is a great way to put it. It's authentic. And if you are out there portraying to be someone that you're not, you're going to get discovered.
Right.
I mean, eventually you're going to get discovered.
Right.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. And I think that hopefully it'll motivate others to either continue doing what they're doing or change what they think they're doing to being more authentic.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Good question. So from here, let's talk about your team.
Okay.
We haven't gotten a chance to, we've dabbled on a couple of things. You've alluded to that.
Right.
But, okay. So in 2019 it was, right?
Right.
Tell me about that. What was that like? Making that decision.
Oh my God.
Going off on my own.
Honestly, it was one of those things again where I just didn't think it was attainable.
Right.
I feel like I still had that like Oklahoma mentality of like, this isn't possible. Like I'm not to that. I'm not Dave. I'm not, I'm not to that caliber of leader. And I really honestly didn't know that I was ready, because I'm like, I don't know if, and I'm real big on like, I don't want to get sued ever, and so it's a big responsibility. Yeah. So I'm like, man, am I ready? But, I talked with a mentor of mine and she's like, go for it. Like, just do it. And so I think having people like that just really encourage you. They're like, why not? I mean, you've been doing it for so long. Like, why not? And so the minute that I made that decision, like everything happened so fast.
Wow.
I mean, you have an office, here's your keys, let's go. What's your name? What's your brand? Like bam, 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 and literally you're talking about less than a week of like, okay, now we have an LLC. Like what?
That's cool.
And we have an office and all these things and
responsibilities
and now I'm liable. Yay. So, it was a lot, but I was super thankful and I still am super thankful because then, you learn things as you work with others of, okay, I want to take this away and I want to do this, or I don't want to do this because this didn't work, And so I felt like I had a lot of that under my belt of like what I did and didn't want to do. And the biggest thing for me was having a team of purpose. Yeah. And so, there's so many teams out there and so many great teams, And so I'm like, okay, this is one where people have to have like a servant's heart, willing to serve not only their clients, but also volunteering and doing community things. And so, it just launched and it just like organically happened. We started with a team of 3, and things happen, people fall out, whatever, Absolutely. You have growing pains. And so now we have a team of 5, all amazing, incredible women, all from very different backgrounds. And I think we all just all have a passion for serving. And just have that heart. Each one of them have had their own journeys. Couple single moms, couple ones that just have had, hardships and things like that, but want to be able to turn that around and give back and, just do things with purpose. So we have a girl in Uvalde. Okay. We have one in Spring Branch. We have one in Bernie, one in New Braunfels. How many am I missing? One in Shirts.
That's awesome.
And then my goal is to get my brokerage license. Okay. So I'm working towards that.
Okay. Yes.
So I need some accountability here.
There you go.
And so my goal is to open a beach branch.
Okay.
Too. So I have some people that are wanting to kind of come on and do that. But yeah.
So let me ask you, and you mentioned something along these lines, but I'm going to pull it out of you.
Okay.
The concept of going through tough situations, tough times, being, deeper into what some may consider a hole when you have been kicked to the curb.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that the further kick to the curb that you've experienced has helped you understand how much further you can come to success?
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes. So I'm a big advocate for making your pit your platform.
Wow.
So I feel like we are we're not here by accident. We're put in very intentional situations that really suck sometimes. And trust me, like Mark knew me before.
Oh, yeah.
Before he knew me.
We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about Bruno. Okay. And if you know me and you really know me, you know that I have always chosen the hard path in life.
Same here.
Like, there could be an easy route. Oh no, Danielle, you want to take the freaking hard road. That's me 1,000%. And so, but I wouldn't have it any other way because I feel like that adversity, that pain, that hardship has really molded me and inspired me to be able to make that a platform for someone else.
Yeah.
And so I definitely feel like while that wasn't fun going through all those times, I have empathy.
Yeah.
And I do have tough love at times, and because I know that it's possible.
Right.
But I also can have the empathy and provide hope and things like that and be used in that way to be able to inspire others. And so, yes, I definitely think I think
a lot of folks get empathy confused these days with a level of feel sorry for someone. Empathy is, in my opinion, understanding where they're coming from, understanding their logic, their path, and also understanding how you can help them get to the next level.
A to B.
Answer. Correct. These days, we're hearing a lot of folks, you don't have any empathy. Well, I understand what you're coming from, but that doesn't change the way that I'm going to deliver this message. Yeah, the approach that I'm going to take, because I know that this is what it's going to take for you to get out of it.
Right.
Your lack of understanding and me being empathetic could be your downfall because I'm here to help you type situation.
And I feel like different, I can't think of any other.
Different strokes for different folks?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. I'm like, yes, there's different strokes for different folks. And I feel like, while tough love may be for someone, it may not be for someone else. And so I definitely needed tough love, at times because, and I didn't like it in the moment, and we don't like, oh, that person's such a jerk.
Right.
But at the same time, well, did it get you to move?
Sure did.
Got you to move.
For the most part,
but then sometimes, people are in I can see where some situations where someone may be in a lot of despair or something, and you need to encourage them.
Right.
Because I've definitely had encouragement in my life too. So I think it just depends on, where they're at, but I tend to, I don't know, I feel like I go both ways, but, I think empathy is a form of just understanding where they're at and the potential they have, and where they can.
That's huge.
Go.
That's huge right there, is the potential and seeing potential in others, especially as a leader.
And in the situation too.
Correct.
Like, if you think the sky is falling, hey, like this really isn't that big a deal,
Right.
All you have to do is
let me paint perspective for you.
Step outside of it and look, so.
No, I like that. I mean, you've got, you've been through quite a bit, and to come out of it on the other side to where you can not only share your success, but also continue to work towards your success and share it with others around you is super important and necessary for today's market, for today's world that we're living in.
I think it's all about problem solving too.
Yeah.
When you have that empathy and you have that understanding and everything, you can problem solve a little bit better, especially when you've been through, you've chosen the hard path. You're like, I've already tried A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I already know how those are going to go. So you're able to problem solve. I was talking to somebody recently about how, like, this generation, they're having a harder time problem solving because I feel like you have your phone and you can do an equation, you can look up anything that you want, and you have that instant answer instead of having to think about it. Okay, how could this work? What would this outcome? What's a plan B, C? Well,
I mean, I'm gonna go as far as to say that someone like yourself is truly blessed to have gone through what you went through, because today's generation, and this is a bold statement, but today's generation has never really failed at anything.
Right.
It's always, if you fail, oh, it's okay, no big deal, we can do this.
Here's
You're
a
still
ribbon.
getting this participation medal. I'm literally saying that.
Yeah.
And there's very few that can tell their story and share with others. And then that few that tell their story, the others that have never been through it don't believe it.
Yeah.
They're like, no, that's... No, I'm not going to take that next step. I'm not going to fail.
I've seen that. Well, it's like they want to go from A to D, like without having to do the hard work. And so you see all these shows, like the Selling Sunsets and all the real estate shows that make it so easy peasy to do, but you don't see all the problems. So, I mean, I was on the call this morning at 7:00 this morning trying to problem solve something. Right. You have to have those. And I don't know how many, we have a video of one of my agents, Angela, and I, at a listing the other day, we're cleaning up pill bugs and poop off for a listing for a picture. I mean, it's gritty work. Right. You don't see all that stuff. You don't see the problem solving. You don't see the hard stuff. And so I can't tell you how many people that I've had that are like, you come across and they're like, well, I want to do what you're doing and I want to make the money that you're making and do, it's like, whoa, I'm 15 years in and I'm just now figuring out my groove,
Oh my gosh. The amount of people that have reached out to me and there have been plenty that I have actually given opportunities. Come on board, get licensed, do your thing. Let's go. Then 2-3 months in, they're like, well, where's the money? And I'm like, well, where's the work?
Right.
You've got to put in the work for a long time before you see the benefit and to the point that you actually like doing the work.
Right. Right. And enjoy it. I think that's the thing is it looks like instant gratification when you're looking at it.
Right.
Like, okay, you just show a house, you get the dollar bills, like, let's go. No big deal. But I mean, it's so much more than that. And every now and then you get blessed with a super easy deal. Yeah. That is like
far and few between.
1 in 200.
Yeah. Is there even such a thing
anymore? Let me tell you, it's been a while. I'm due for some, but, I feel like each transaction you learn something, you apply it.
Right.
We talk about like our team, we talk about our failures and they're not failures if we can learn from them and grow from them.
That's right.
And so, we're real big on that because no transaction is the same. And the girls will tell you, you've been in it for so long, but yet you're still seeing new things. I mean,
correct.
Because nothing is the same, no two transactions are the same. And so, you're learning something every single time that you can apply. Right. And then share that, with the team. Hey, I learned this and this and this.
Well, I think the concept of, let's call it a doctor's practice. Yeah. They don't call it a doctor's perfection.
Right.
Right. Same thing with real estate.
Yeah.
It's not, you're practicing real estate. Why? Because every day you're learning and no one out there knows exactly what to do always.
Right.
You're constantly learning and practicing your trade, your craft. And I get a lot of these folks to try and understand that you're not going to be perfect. You're going to fail. Yeah. But there are good days, great days, and learning days.
Right.
And those learning days may be pretty tough sometimes.
Right.
But as long as you took something away that you can apply to the next day, I don't see that as a bad day.
Right.
Right. You still here? You still wake your ass up tomorrow?
We're good.
Hey, we're good. we're good. Because it can be a whole lot worse in many situations.
Yeah, it can. Definitely, for sure. And we all have our days and our deals that are challenging and stuff like that. But I agree. Like if you can learn something and take something away, then, you're going to be great. It's
not a bad day at the office.
It's not a bad day.
Yeah. So in closing this, tell us where you are planning to head with your group. How big do you want to get? I already know that you guys give back to the community. You do what you can in regards to that. You definitely inspire at least other women in our profession to do what they're doing. Fun statistic, back to equality, the ratio of women to men in this business, real estate, is like 47 to 53. So for 47 to it's like darn near right neck and neck.
Dang.
And I just saw that the other day, and I was like, no way. Okay, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
it does.
Now we're getting it.
Yeah. But where do you see your group going? How big do you want to get? Is it something that you'd like to leave a legacy on? Is it something that you would like to empower the others to grow with under you? What is your goal with that?
So my goal is ultimately to see the girls I have succeed. My goal is to grow as big as it'll get. I would love to see them start their own teams underneath once, I get my brokerage license. I think it would be awesome. I just want them to succeed in everything. And so we're already, working on, what does that look like for you guys whenever you want to do that? So they'll have the option once I'm a broker to either be an individual, be a partner, or have their own team. And so, my goal is to grow. So right now we're in the hill country, Uvalde, San Antonio, those areas, right?
And I love that is your concept. It's like put somebody here, put somebody there, and now they can become the experts in that territory.
Right. So my goal ultimately is to have a buyer's list agent, a seller's agent, so they can help each other.
Love it.
But my goal also is to have a beach branch.
Yeah.
And I would love to see that come to fruition. I love the beach. I go back and forth. There's going to be so much development down there.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I was looking at some offices maybe
there you go.
Eventually. So I just would love to see it grow and all over Texas, because I feel like we're just a unique kind of concept where it's more about the heart, more about the, servant's heart. And when you have that authenticity and you have that genuine connection to people, it just naturally, organically succeeds.
As it should.
I'm not a salesperson. I'll tell all my clients that, like, if you want the house, great. If you don't, I'm not the one to push you. Like, that's just not me.
Gotcha.
But I want... And most of my girls are that way, where they, it's like, we want you to want what you're getting so that we have repeat business. And so big portion of our business is referrals, and actually from other agents.
Gotcha. That don't work those certain territories.
Right.
Yeah. So now you're branding yourself that way.
Don't work in Uvalde, or don't work in the beach, or wherever it is. And so we're really big on referrals because we want to be able to have that repeat.
I love it.
Business. And so we're not for everybody, we're not going to be like, you need to cold call 50,000 people,
Sure.
Like, that's just not our thing. But if you have a heart for serving and a heart for giving, and, want to think about others first and all of that, then we're definitely your team. And we're not just, we're girls, but eventually my goal is to add some guys in there.
You got to have some testosterone, man.
I know. It just kind of happened that way. But, I love the girls. We kind of laugh because we're in such a encouraging little hype bubble. So when you get out of that sometimes, and then you realize, like, there's some people that are, whoa, this is hard. Like, we went to an event one time and there were some people not being very nice, and we're like, what the heck? Like,
who are these people?
I'm like, it's okay. Come here. I will take care of you.
That's funny. So let me ask one final question. And this is not canned or anything. I just want to know I don't believe that there's a lot of new agents getting into the business, but there may be quite a few agents that are considering getting out of the business because it's becoming tougher and tougher.
Yeah.
What's some advice that you would give to those folks?
Well, I think you need to really look at why you got into the business. If it's just, like the instant gratification kind of thing, then it's probably not your jam.
Yeah.
If you got into it because you genuinely love people and love helping people, and like we talked about, like that little high feeling, the buzz, and you really want to just see people accomplish their goals, their real estate goals, then I would say keep at it. Get an accountability partner, set the steps, do the work. Like, I still do door knocking and stuff like that. I still send postcards. I write letters. We do pop buys.
I still coach on that stuff.
Pop buys are huge for us. We do them. We're doing peeps right now. Like, have my peeps call your people peeps.
Yeah.
Like, we do a lot of that. So you're going to have to get back to the basics. You're going to have to connect with people.
That's huge, Danielle. That's huge because a lot of folks out there think that there's some kind of pill
magic
that you can take.
If I sign up for this, or if I, and one of the things I was talking to one of the agents on my team about was we were talking about like a lead service or those kind of things where you call. That's just not me.
Right.
And I think that works for some people, and that's great. Like, that's just their thing. It's just not mine. I feel like it's a lot more effective to go out and have that connection, go out, if it's a for sale by owner, go talk to that person, go figure out, why are they selling? Maybe do some, like, offer them a service. We talked about this. Tell them you're going to sell that house for free.
Yeah.
You'll do the paperwork, and then you'll help them on their buy because they're not going to buy anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're offering them something and offering them a value and connecting with them and finding out genuinely what's going on and offering your knowledge and stuff versus a phone call that you're going to, they've had how many?
Correct.
And I think that works for some people, but I just feel like an organic, authentic connection goes so far.
I agree. I mean, you're delivering value that they can then apply to whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's very big.
I think, for me, starting in Oklahoma, that helped because, it was for sale by owners and expireds. Like, that's what I did because I didn't know anyone.
Right.
I didn't have a sphere of influence there.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of like my brain switches when it starts to get slow.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what can I do to get back?
That's
in
right.
That?
That's right.
What can I do to go make those connections? And
That's same here. I mean, when the market shifted, it was like, I know exactly what to do right now. We're going to focus on this right now, everybody. Mm-hmm. And they were like, but that's hard. Oh, yeah? What kind of market you think we're in right now?
Yeah.
Only the strong will survive.
I feel like you have to get creative. So I feel like if your heart's definitely in this industry, don't get out. Like, don't take the easy way out.
Yeah.
Put the work in.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely feel like, and I'm a big, obviously I've talked about it, like a big faith person. I'm real big on like centering yourself and figuring out, praying to God, is this what I'm supposed to be doing?
Right.
And if it is, do the work.
Yeah.
Do the things, do the steps, go back to the basics, and and usually it doesn't happen immediately. You're planning out for your next, like, I have 8-9 deals right now, but that's because a month ago I was doing those steps. So you've got to plan for your next 30 days. How does that look? Mm-hmm. So
I like that. We've learned I personally have learned quite a bit about you. I have also pulled some things out that a lot of folks out there can take and use and implement in their business, and hopefully they do. Yeah. And it's not just fluff that you're giving. These are real events, real experiences. And the biggest thing that I took away from this is you essentially grow through what you go through.
Yep.
Right?
Yep, 1,000%.
Sound about right?
1,000%.
So that in itself, I want to thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Mark.
And
you made this so easy.
Not bad for the first time.
I know.
It's like a freaking awesome pro. So that being said, guys out there, I did want to bring it back real quick for kind of a reveal of something that we've been working on for quite some time. You've heard in every one of these episodes that we are powered by ReviewMyMortgage.com. Well, we have finally launched ReviewMyMortgage.com and bringing it to you in its beta format. So you can visit ReviewMyMortgage.com, self-diagnose on the thousands of programs that my partner and I have taken a ton of time to put in there based on lender guidelines, and essentially get yourself to where you need to be educated wise on what mortgage programs nationally that you can qualify for. So we are live beta, and we will be for about 60 days, and then we will open it up to the public and essentially be onboarding pro lenders nationally. It's something pretty big. So Zillow, you watch out. But again, Danielle, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm hoping that this goes super, super far because it was a great message.
Thank you.
And guys, gals, we'll catch you on the next one. Are you tired of feeling overwhelmed and underinformed during the mortgage process? Look no further than ReviewMyMortgage.com. With our revolutionary Loan Smart tool, you can self-diagnose your particular criteria and access thousands of mortgage programs to educate yourself. Whether you're a first-time buyer, repeat buyer, or an investor, our website offers a wealth of information to help you make informed decisions. So don't go about buying, selling, or refinancing a home alone. Educate yourself at ReviewMyMortgage.com. the largest index of mortgage programs nationally, an educational website built for the next generation of future homeowners, just like you.